Hello. I like to share a life-saving experience that revolves around my smartwatch. I bought the watch for other reasons, but this past week there is a feature that notifies me if my heart rate enters an unusually low heartbeat per minute. And in my case, it reached high 40s. And that occurred on Monday, June 30th, the day I flew in from New Jersey here in Fresno, where I'm staying with my mom, visiting my 94-year-old mom. And I didn't pay much attention to that. But what was going on was I felt a little lightheaded. I dismissed it as jet lag. I had a bite to eat Monday night and I felt much better. And then by Tuesday, I looked at my watch and it said that, my heartbeat, was bottoming out at about 47. And by the end of Tuesday, I felt lightheaded again. I had a nice meal. I felt better. But it was Wednesday morning. Every morning I get up early, 5:30ish, and I take a walk with my mom. She does a daily walk. And when I got back from the walk, I didn't feel right. I was just a little lightheaded. And again, it was maybe the warm climate here in Fresno. I don't know. And I had already spoke with my mom that, maybe I'll just go to the hospital and have them check me out. So I drove to St. Agnes Hospital, emergency here in Fresno, California, and they admitted me. And I told them the reason for the visit is my smartwatch was alerting me that I had an unusually low heartbeat and that I was slightly lightheaded. There was no other symptoms. I'm a relatively healthy person. I wasn't exhausted. I wasn't feeling lethargic. I wasn't winded. I had no problems other than the lightheadedness, but I was concerned about this low heartbeat notification. So through Wednesday, they conducted many tests, a lot of blood work. There was an echocardiogram performed. And after that, I had a stress test performed, and I did the full 9 minutes, and I achieved my target heart rate. And I'm 72 years old, and it was over 120. And the cardiologist was pleased and happy with that. But they wanted to keep me for observation Wednesday night and through Thursday morning. And it was the wee hours of Thursday morning where my heart rate was measured at 30 beats per minute. And it was also reported that my heart had paused several times for 2 to 3 seconds. So my heartbeat, my resting heartbeat, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday went from the high 40s to the low 40s to the upper 30s down to 30, and the pauses of 2 to 3 seconds. And the conclusion went from he seems to be responding to a workout demand, but there's something wrong with his heart's pacemaker that's generated by the sinus node on the resting heart rate side. And so they scheduled me for a implantation of a pacemaker on 4th of July, Friday morning at 7 a.m. And that's what you see, the patch over my left shoulder is the dressing over the implantation of my pacemaker. And I have to attribute my smartwatch, my wearable, for saving my life, because there was nothing else indicating that there was a problem. Again, I had no dizziness to really speak of. I had no lack of energy. I wasn't, breathless. And in my long walks, I'm a very active person. And even last week in Jersey, 100-degree weather, doing yard work, I, outside of it just being warm, I had a very productive day. I didn't experience anything that would suggest that there was a problem. And again, it was my wearable and the lightheadedness that drove me to go to emergency after my, flight into Fresno, California to visit my mom, where a couple of days of a hospital visit, I walked out with a pacemaker that now my resting heart rate is locked at 70 and I feel fine. So the recovery, I have to follow the guidelines for, a couple of weeks of being careful with this pacemaker procedure. And that's it. I have to be thankful to be here. And that's my story. I'll give an update tomorrow and through next week on how I feel. And it's a good thing.